Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening, viewers. In fact, today we are going to discuss about the fake news that have been spread and circulated through the social media by the Taliban regime. Uh, we have to understand, the dynamics of the digital media, the new media that has brought information revolution in the world. And in fact, there are many plus points of the social media, this new media, but then there are negative aspects of the new media, and which we talk of a fake news, something which is not real, something which is which comes into the parameters of spreading disinformation or a misinformation, and that is also a targeted. It is not without any meaning, without any purpose. There's a purpose behind that, there's a meaning behind that, and there are certain objectives. Those objectives are social objectives sometimes, they are economic objectives, and at the level of the state or at the international level, they are political objectives or strategic objectives. And when we talk of a war, when we talk of a conflicts, they are being used to either mislead the people, or to build the image of a particular government or particular military, or a particular group. And according to that, the Taliban, in fact, recently we had a conflict with the Taliban, and because of that, we have seen that the Taliban regime, through fake accounts, and they are in hundred of thousands. Yeah, they may be sitting in Kabul, they may be sitting in New Delhi, they may be sitting anywhere, and they have been spreading certain disinformation and misinformation regarding, in fact, the war, which was being, which were which was between Pakistan and Afghanistan, the Afghan Taliban regime, and the terrorists that they have been supporting, and they have been, there are safe havens inside Afghanistan, which operate from Afghanistan, and naturally, they have been conducting operations, and they have been conducting attacks on civilians, security forces inside Pakistan to destabilize both KP as Balochistan, and there's a method behind that, those attacks, and those terrorist, and acts which were being conducted by the terrorists. Now, as far as the Taliban regime is concerned, recently they have posted certain videos and images, pictures, and naturally the content they have been uploading on the social media, especially on the Twitter as well as on the Facebook and other platforms like Instagram, and even on the YouTube. They were not real. In fact, they were concocted. They were misleading, in fact, but they were fake. They were not real. And recently, they have uploaded certain videos which were related to the Chaman. In fact, it was related to giving an impression that recently a huge gathering was being, organized inside somewhere inside Balochistan, and they were talking about, the Pashtuns, and in fact, it was a kind of a narrative they wanted to build, a narrative that people of Balochistan and of the KP, they are more loyal to the Afghan government, or Afghan regime, instead of their own country, which was something which is a fake. And it was in fact 2022 when there was a Chaman protest, and they have used that footage, and it was only naturally to spread a fake news and build negative narratives against Pakistani institutions, Pakistani government, Pakistan armed forces. In fact, naturally, they have been targeting Pakistan military. and the leadership of the military as well as the civilian leadership here in Pakistan. I would like to just, since it is always a targeted, as I've told you, that these fake news through the social media are being launched with with certain purpose to build the narrative, to make the public opinion, either targeting their own, public. I mean, inside Afghanistan or public here across the border, maybe in Pakistan or rest of the world, wherever the Pakistanis and the Afghan nationals are living. So this was their main purpose. Now, who has been training them? I mean, all these fake accounts, they are naturally, I've told you, either they are operating from Kabul or they are operating from New Delhi. But most probably they are operating from New Delhi, because we have seen that a lot of, accounts, they carry a Hindu names, and most of them are from India. So the writer of the script is sitting in India, the director is sitting in India, and then these are the characters, the apparently the characters, most of the characters, they also belong to India. So this is how the Taliban. In fact, if we just remember in May, when Pakistan defeated the Indians, when Pakistan brought down their 6 to 7, aircrafts, one of the top most, aircraft of the world. There I feel the French aircrafts. So at that time, even the Indians, they launched a huge media campaign, both the traditional media, the TV channels, the newspapers, and of course the digital media of the India, the social media. So they have been spreading disinformation, and not only because they were saying that the Karachi is being taken over, they were saying that the Prime Minister office in Islamabad that has been, brought down. So all these fake news were being spread by them from 6th to 11th of May. And then, after that, even during that period, they were doing the same thing. So the same pattern, the same kind of a strategy was used this time by the Taliban. And we know it clearly that they are the Indians. It's the Indian government, the Indian intelligence agency, the RA, which is launching the entire campaign against Pakistan institutions and Pakistan, and they are just spreading disinformation and fake news. And they are very, in fact, they are very trained. They are very expert. The Indians are very expert, and they are using the Taliban now, because whenever we, watch these Indian prime minister or their military leadership, they speak of a Sandur too. 2.0, or the second Sandur, they talk of a kind of operation. But in fact, they have already, I've, earlier in many of my interviews, when we were discussing Pakistan India or Pakistan Afghanistan conflicts, I have told you that the Indians have been, using this Afghanistan land against Pakistan through the proxies, but now openly, even the Afghans themselves, I mean, the Afghan regime, the interim regime, that is being guided or misguided by the Indians, and now they are, launching. Not only physically, their terrorists are inside Pakistan and killing our military security forces and the civilians, but now they have launched a digital terrorism. So this is what we call it, a digital terrorism. That when you using the digital media, the information system, the innovation system, the new technologies to spread wrong and fake and concocted narrative to make a public opinion and to gain the support of the public opinion, and to raise a public opinion against Pakistan. I would like to, just mention here the history of propaganda, because this is a propaganda, in fact. And the history of propaganda goes back to early last century. and it is associated to the German Nazi government. And they had a person of Joseph Goebbels. He was the man who was being appointed as a propaganda minister at that time by the Nazi and Hitler government. And from 1930 to 1945, he has been, controlling the information, the communication system at that time. Naturally, the traditional media through films and through radio and through newspapers and pamphlets and images and pictures. This Joseph Goebbels, they launched a propaganda against their enemies in the Western world. And then we have seen that, over the period of time, the media was being used by the states, against their enemies. And then we have seen a book by Noam Chomsky. He's a very prominent scholar of United States of America. He's 94 years of age, and he has written a lot of many articles and books on the political the politics and the way the politicians used the media for their own purpose. And he has written a book. The name of the book is Media Control: Spectacular Achievements of Propaganda. So whatever we are seeing at on the social media platforms, whether it's a YouTube, it's a Instagram, it's a TikTok, it's a Twitter, particularly the Facebook, all these platforms which has a billions of followers, and this interactive media, this audience based media, and then the user generated media. It has a positive elements, but it has a negative elements as well. And this negativity is being used by the Taliban regime, like the Indians are still using it. In fact, they are dramatizing whatever the Modi is doing at the moment. Recently, he went to the that mm, Indian Ocean, where in Vikrant, their so-called, that aircraft carrier. But he said he was there, and then he was addressing, and he was also, directly or indirectly threatening Pakistan. The same goes to their defense minister, their armed forces chiefs. Either it's their army chief or air force chief or they're different, senior military leadership. Uh, so their videos are coming up, frequently at the moment. If you just see the social media, their addresses to the public, and indirectly, in phraseology, in using indirect language, they're and directly, they are threatening Pakistan. That's why our army chief, while speaking at the Kakul Academy passing out parade recently, he has warned the Indians that they should mind their language as well as their intentions against Pakistan. So whatever is being done by the Taliban regime, and whosoever is at the moment launching this fake campaign against Pakistan, it is uh, it is being orchestrated, it is being planned, it is being written and directed by the Indians, and they are using and misusing, in fact, the Taliban and their, other workers and the fake accounts throughout the world. They are being launched against Pakistan. So it has nothing to do with the reality. The reality is that Pakistan conducted operations inside Afghanistan, because for the last 4 years, Pakistan has been telling the Taliban that they should control the terrorists. They should control the terrorists. But naturally, they had an engagement. They had a very close association with these terrorists. They were using them within the country, controlling their own population, as well as, using them against Pakistan and on the behest of other countries like India. Maybe there may be other countries as well who are providing them, dollars. They are providing them millions of dollars. And recently, the Indians have, they have announced that they are going to provide around $300 million to the Afghan Taliban, and they have also, established their full-fledged embassy inside Kabul. They have appointed their ambassador as well. So all these actions, all these statements, all these engagements during that conflict days, the Afghan foreign minister remained in India, met with the different, people over there, and that was a kind of a message. That was a messaging for the Pakistani public, Pakistani leadership, that the Taliban and the India are the same. They are on the same page, and they will destabilize Pakistan by using proxies, by launching operations from inside Afghanistan, and by using this fifth generation warfare that we call it media, and by social media. They have already launched this, kind of disinformation or information warfare against Pakistan, and they will try to do in future as well. So what we have to do, we have to counter that, by spreading the fair news, the actual news, the truth, and continuously, our the government officials should come, and they should explain to the local media as well as the international media that what is the actual ground situation. So the ground situation was that if they had not been hit inside Afghanistan, they would not have, came to Qatar, and they would not have been holding a talks with Pakistan, because Pakistan has been time and again asked the Taliban regime that they should sit and they should resolve this issue, which is a very, very sensitive and serious for Pakistan. And Pakistani peace and Pakistani security is is more important than any other country. So such kind of disinformation they will keep on spreading against Pakistan. It is part of the warfare that the Indians and the Taliban regime have launched against Pakistan. Please take care of yourself. Thank you very much.